Evening everyone, warm welcome back to the channel for everyone that's subscribed or sort of visited before, and welcome to my new visitors if this is your first one. Hope you enjoy it. Constantly surprises me actually before we get started on today's how many people are interested in some of the content that we're putting out. I mean, been going for about a year now videoing stuff, and heading towards sort of 400 subscribers, so cheers. Really kind of makes me feel good, which kind of leads me on to my next point, which is that you'll notice there hasn't really been an update for a while, and so I'm going to kind of level with you as to why. This is not my day job. Those of you that don't know me personally, I'm a school teacher, which what with COVID and everything else has been a little bit of, I suppose, carnage. Just about describes my working environment at the moment. And I've also got a young family and a very young daughter, so obviously that kind of takes priority right now. Haven't really had a huge amount of time to play around with cars, but as we start getting into the spring and the weather starts getting a little better, she starts getting a little older, hopefully we'll have a little bit more content coming your way. So it's kind of important for me to kind of level with you about that, because I've been about that close to kind of jacking this in on a number of occasions over the last couple of months, and it's really only the fact that people do watch my videos and people do actually sort of comment that kind of makes me think, well, you know what, there's obviously a few sort of fellow kind of hobbyists out there who see a load of slick YouTube productions and think, you know what, everybody else's life in the garage is absolutely slick. Well, it's not. People do have real lives, people do have a lot going on, and yet we still somehow manage to make a success out of doing this as a hobby. So hopefully if I can be a little bit of an inspiration to anyone, or kind of help you get your mojo back if you've lost it, as I have on a number of occasions, then I kind of feel that I'm doing something right. Anyway, enough of the sort of a sob story intro there. Let's look at what we're up to today. So whilst it's been a little bit of slow progress on the Fiat, what we have done is, obviously there was a video on doing this, patched in all of behind the battery tray there, new battery tray, and this was all kind of fabricated a while back. And what I've done is I've stone chipped all of this and I've sprayed it body colour. So this is, although the light's not great here, this is the colour that the car is going to be. It's a pastel green, I forget the exact shade, but well, you know, seam sealed inside there, stone chipped. I've painted it, 'cause having done this before, it's really difficult to get any form of paint gun down inside that spare wheel area once the front panel is welded on. So I've done the same there, just giving it a sort of a lick over. You don't actually see that really unless you've popped the bonnet, so it's gonna just kind of look pretty nice in there. Now what I've done here that I'm going to clean up later on is we've punched holes for plug welds to go through there. I'm going to plug weld that from the front. This is the inside. I'm going to clean up these as well, take the paint off there, because that flange is going to meet this flange here on both sides, and again this just needs a bit of cleaning up because we're going to spot weld it from, plug weld it I should say, from behind there, and we'll obviously that panel will weld up against there, which will leave us with a solidly fitted front end on there. Now what I'm going to be using to do this is my new toy, which I will do a review of. This is an Oxford MiG 180, 180 amp, drops down to 20 amp. However, for doing thin sheet metal, it's got a nice 5 meter torch on it, and it is a really nice bit of kit, so we'll do a review on that later on. So what I'll do is I'll just clamp this front panel up into place, clean it up, clamp it in, and then we'll just kind of buzz it in, at least most of those plug welds in for the moment, just to get it to hold solidly in. Those with keen eyes will spot it's actually daytime now and no longer nighttime, because I had to finish this in another day, and I also clean forgot to start my camera when I was doing the welding, but you've all seen welding before. And what we have now is a fully welded in front panel. So we've got spot welds down the sides in here. Going to seam weld that up a little bit more later, and then we've also got plug welds up underneath the bottom there, exactly as standard, and the rest of it is kind of body working that in, close all those gaps, and redo or do a bit more seam welding on the inside later on. But you can see we've got a little bit gaps to close there, but we've got the drain points all in place. There's a few little gap fillers that need to go in the corners where there was rust in the bottom of there, so I need to cut that out and make a little patch to go in. But other than that, the front is, to all intents and purposes, finished, and we'll just do a bit of adjustment on the bonnet, but it sits quite nicely. So as I said at the beginning, thanks for watching. Not my daily job, it takes me a little while to get through this, but I do appreciate people actually taking an interest, and hopefully 2022 will bring us a little bit more on this project, a little bit more content as well. If you like it, please subscribe, please like, please comment. Take care.